this is not a book about the Chili Peppers, but Anthony Kiedis does play a part in it.
Absolutely.
And you met him in high school.
Yeah.
And it was like instant attraction, essentially. I mean,
yeah.
I see my opposite number.
Yeah, we fell in love. I met him when I was 15, and we had both just started the 10th grade at Fairfax High School in Hollywood, and we were like almost immediately like in love and at war. You know what I mean? It's like this.
Has it stayed that way ever since?
And it stayed that way ever since. And it's the thing that I try to express about our relationship, and I write about my childhood, and he's a huge part of my childhood and became my family. I mean, we were inseparable for many years, like especially when we were young. It was like every single day we were together. And, you get older and you get different houses and you don't have to live together and you have girlfriends and you get separated more. But from the thing that I try to express about it in my book is that from the very beginning, I remember my mom, rest in peace, who told me a few years before she died, she said, I remember when you came home, you were 15. And it's hard because I get, she said to me, she's like, Michael, you came home and you were all lit up. And you said, Mom, I finally found someone I can talk to. And I really did, and, like any really close brotherly relationship, it's, we go at each other too, but I found someone I could communicate with in a way and in a profound way that I hadn't had before.
Yeah.
And here we are 40 something years later.
Did you have any inkling at the time that this would go on beyond, a couple seasons in the sun?
I had an inkling that I knew that it was big, and I felt forces beyond me, like bringing us together. I had no idea about a professional life or anything like that. And sometimes I often feel that the longevity of our band and everything, it's not, I know our band's been successful and all that, but it's not so much the band itself that does it and all the professional obligations and stuff. And, our desire to try to continue to be an evolving artistic entity. But like our band is a vehicle for the thing, because we're supposed to be together in this life. Yeah. And the band is just a thing that keeps us there, as opposed to the band keeping us together. I mean, as opposed to the band keeping us together, our friendship is a thing that it's like the universe has decided, well, here's this thing that'll keep them together, so just do that.
You also say that there's almost no one who's had as much power to hurt you as...
Yeah. And perhaps that is because he's someone that, like I said, when you find family and your friends in the street, I looked for my friends to be my family. I looked to them for all the support and my sense of self and for the encouragement and for the things you want from family. And it's just like, the way that your parents can really hurt you because they know these buttons. It's like that for me with my friends and with him because, we are so close and we are family, and it's always been that way. That I've, deeply emotional connections that are vulnerable and that are fragile, that can be the most heartwarming, encouraging, supporting things in the world, and can be really disappointing and hurtful. And because I look for them to be so much. And
you didn't read his book, did you?
I've never read his book, no. And I thought that maybe when I finish my one, I'd read it. I mean, his came out like 15 years ago.
Yeah. Do you want him to read yours?
I don't know. I kind of leave that up to him.
Yeah.
His book, I know that if he and I sit in a room together and we talk about stuff, I know we're both going to walk out of that room and have completely different ideas about what happened in the room.
Yeah.
Or if you know what I mean? That's how we are. We look at things, he and I, it's like point, counterpoint, all the time. We're like always at each other, looking at things. No, I feel misunderstood. This is how it is. No, you know what I mean? It's like, but in that it's like this yearning. I feel so much love from him and vice versa. And we're always sort of like, figuring out how it works. And I think it's like that with most things in life, that in the trying to figure it out and in the yearning and in the wanting to understand is where great things happen.
The duality in regards to your relationship with Anthony, I totally hear you 1,000% on the need for duality, you know, the rainy days to appreciate the sunshine. But there are some stories in here that you're very open about, a camping trip when you guys were kids where it almost borders on cruelty. Do you ever feel like you could have had maybe more of the sunshine with less of the rain with Anthony? Like, do you really think that you needed that much duality?
Anthony and I have had plenty of sunshine. You know, I think, I wrote that story because it was something that shaped me, and it was an early part of my life. And sometimes in talking about it, maybe I should have written more about just the joy and love and all the creative stuff that we've shared, because we've just had a fantastic friendship and relationship. And it's been difficult. We're both very intense people, and we butt heads. And, you know, he's someone that I trust and love. And, you know, you hurt the people you love sometimes. And, you know, I'm sure that I have been a complete to him and judgmental many a time when I didn't need to be. You know what I mean? And I might not even be conscious about it because I was too bullheaded and pigheaded to see what I was doing.
What I thought was so interesting, you were telling CBS that you and Anthony can sit down in a room and talk about something, and you'll both have a different idea of what happened in that room.
Totally.
And what struck me about that is that I talk to so many artists, and they say you need good rapport to make great music. You need to be on the same page. How do you guys channel sort of that, like maybe language barrier, for lack of a better term, into just phenomenal music?
I don't really agree with that, about you have to be on the same page to make good music. I think that if I wanted to be in a band with everyone that thought like me and did what I wanted, then I might as well just do it by myself.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think likewise for anyone in my band or anyone, like what makes it really difficult is that we disagree all the time, and we fight, and we hurt each other's feelings, and you know what I mean? And like, I don't like your idea, or that sounds old-fashioned to me, or why are you forcing it to try to be something else? You know what I mean? Like, the fact that we all come with a different idea and bring a different thing is the thing that makes the band work. And at our best, like the best we've ever done, we're fighting like cats and dogs and disagreeing, you know what I mean? But ultimately respecting, you know, what everyone was bringing, and knowing that it's unique to who they are, you know, and that's not, you know, not always fighting like cats and dogs,
right.
but definitely, you know, I can't count the times I walked out of a rehearsal room sulking, my feelings hurt, you know what I mean? It's just part of the creative process, and I think for a band to be great, everyone's got to bring something different to the table.